What's going on, guys? So you're thinking about moving off grid, or you're thinking about to start homesteading. So you're thinking about doing it. You're getting ready to make the move and do it. So some of the things, there's a lot of good things, and of course if you're all thinking about doing it, you pretty much know some of the good things from doing it. So I want to tell you all a little bit what you should watch out for and different things from personal experience and things. So whether you're looking for homesteading land or off-grid property, it's basically the same thing. You're looking for some kind of acreage, on decent land, and most of the time, that's affordable. You're not going to want, and most of these people that are wanting to do this aren't going to go pay $80,000 for 1 acre. It's got to be reasonably priced in some sort of a rural setting. So some of the things you need to think about is what you're planning on doing there. Are you going to grow garden, raise livestock, build you a cabin? You're going to live there? Is it just going to be like a weekend retreat? Or what all you're going to set up? Are you going to set up a barn? Are you going to set up wood sheds? Are you going to set up pens and paddocks for horses or cows or sheep or any kind of animal that you want to have in the pasture? And all that stuff. When you're looking at property, you want to break down everything before you even go look. Everything that you think that you want on that property. If you want a garden, you need to before you even go look at the property. So before you even go and look at the property, a good idea is just to draw you a design out on a piece of paper, and what all you're wanting to put on that property. So if you're wanting to put a garden, figure out how wide you want it and how long, and put that on your map. And same thing for your barn, your paddocks. Your paddocks are just fenced in fields that can be separated. So you want to put your paddocks on there, how big you want them, how many, where you want to put each animal, and if you want to build your house or a cabin, where you want to put that at, your driveway and stuff. So you want to do all these things beforehand, so you kind of got an idea of how much property you need. Okay, so that's far as kind of judging what size of property that you want. Now another big thing, for homesteaders or off-gridders is, there's so many zoning laws now that you have to be a little careful about how you're going to do it. Are you going to have, and of course off-grid's not going to be a part of this, but are you going to have electric? Are you going to have solar? Are you going to have a composting toilet? Are you going to have a plumbed in toilet? You can homestead and be connected to the grid. Most people don't, because that's the whole reasoning behind it. But is your black water being taken care of in your compost toilet? What about your gray water? And all these different things. You have to figure out with your zoning laws, building requirements. Can you do stuff yourself? Can you build a barn yourself? Do you have to have it contracted? Can you wire the electric yourself, or do you have to have a master electrician come in and do it? So all this stuff is cost, as far as zoning goes. So you want to make you that list of how big your property wants to be and subdivide everything. And same thing with your zoning laws. You want to break all this down so you have an idea of overall how much money you'll need. So you got your zoning, your cost for that. Do you have to have everything, certified electrician doing everything, or can you do it yourself? And then another thing is your cost for building materials. If it's just plain land, undeveloped, rural land, how much is it going to cost to build the cabin, to put an access road on it, your barn, chicken coop, garden, if you have any tools. If you don't, then you have to count that in. Your fencing material for your paddocks and your chicken coops and whatever else, hog pens, anything that you would need. You have to calculate all that up too. And another diagram, and then break all that down. And some of that stuff, that doesn't have to be all up front. You can break it down in that diagram and give yourself time. What's more important in the process, how much it's going to cost, and when you're wanting it done. So this doesn't have to be like a diagram, just bam, one thing. You can do it like over a set amount of years and plan that way. That way you can look at your income and plan for doing that stuff. This kind of lets you all know if you can do it or can't do it. Because I'm one of them people that before all this stuff got going tried to go do it and didn't succeed at it that time. So this is really important information for you all to consider before you start thinking about that stuff, and don't get like in la land all excited about it and don't think about all the little things, because all the little things add up real quick on you. If you're not careful, they'll overwhelm you. So these are just a couple things. There's a lot more that you could do as far as planning, what kind of different animals you want. I mean, all that stuff can come on later. You just really need like a general idea of how big the property you need, where at, how close to your job, how much is it going to cost for each individual thing, and get an overall judgment, and then go from there and go and look at different properties and price ranges, where they're at, different zoning regulations, and all these things, and get an idea of what you want to do. I mean, it is exciting, but just don't get yourself overwhelmed with it. Just keep in mind all that stuff, and another big one is your neighbors. If you go look at property, the best thing to do is go in the evening and then go over. If you really like the property, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. But if you really like the property before you purchase it, go talk to the neighbors and look at their yard. See, what they've got going on. If they've got a couple things laying in the yard, or animals or chickens or something, that's what you're looking for. Nice people that it's not, these big hoity-toity people that want their yard perfect and it's going to come over and try to make everything perfect, or don't want you to have chickens or dogs or something. I mean, you people know who I'm talking about. But that's an important thing too, is neighbors. Some kind of community. That way they're not going to bother you. Which, depending. Oh well. Another thing too is on properties. A lot of these hoity-toity people are selling property and putting deed restrictions on them. So you want to be really careful about that, because they'll put in that deed restrictions, and even though they sold it, they're telling you what you can do on that property, even though you own it. So you have to be really careful about that, because it can say no chickens or no pigs or no horses or cows, or no barn built 500 foot from any edge of the property or fence, or has to be a certain fence, wood plank all the way around the property. So you want to be careful about that stuff too, because that can cause you a lot of heartache and cause you a lot of extra money, and might not allow you, once you buy your property, to do what you want on it. So you have to be a little careful about that too. So I hope this helps you all. I wished I had that advice 10 years ago, but just hope it helps you all. If you have any questions or comments or anything, just leave them in the comment section below. Just like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.